One thing that I always like imagine, because I don't have a kid, right? Is
At least one you don't know about.
Yeah, not that you know of. Yeah,
not that I know of. Damn, bro. I don't want my family.
I'm the same way.
watches-
I'm the same way.
Yeah. It's kind of like, what are some? Are there times where you kind of like feel like you want to run away? That's the first thought.
Oh
I have.
shit!
No, I'm
Yo,
dead
I'm
serious.
the same way. I'm the same way. I'm like, I love this question.
And
All
I'm
right.
the same way for the most part too.
Right,
That's
right.
the
It
thing.
sounds harsh, but like, I'm
Which
dead
makes
serious.
it more tough or tougher. I mean, it just makes it more difficult emotionally, at least.
That you can't
Because-
escape.
Huh?
That you can't escape from it.
No, I don't want to escape. It's more so that as a type A neurotic and obsessive, I'm always working and I'm always doing something, right?
Right.
And it's very difficult for me to transition into deal with baby mode.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you have trouble like partitioning your life, kind of.
Kind of. I think that's the main
'Cause you are
obstacle.
obsessive. Like I'd be like, we get an email, suddenly it's deleted. I'm like, what just happened? I'm like, what happened to that email? He's like, I took care of it. I'm like, oh, dude, it's been like 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, it's 24/7.
Yeah.
It's the same for you. It's probably so. You might have a little bit more balance.
Yeah, I'm more like, I try to be organized as much as possible. Like maybe not like my room and like my vicinity, but more of like some sort of structure. So like if I dedicated time to real estate today, real estate photography, I'll do that, and then I'll be like, once that's sealed, then I'll move on. You know, I like to group things, but you're like, oh, I'm awake. I'm just gonna.
Yeah. Bang, bang,
Yeah, I don't know if there's
bang.
any. I don't know if there's any grouping with a kid, bro.
Yeah.
It's tough. But and when I say that, people think that I'm not grateful. That's the thing that I fucking despise. Like I'm super grateful, but it's just navigating those waters with my personality. That's what's tough. I can't imagine you with a kid, dude. I can't.
Bro.
I don't know how you would. I mean, you would figure it out for sure.
Yeah.
I think you would rise to the occasion, but it would be very interesting to see you in that scenario.
I don't think I want kids. So I think, I'm like, ah, shit. No, I really don't think I want kids. That's it. I've thought about it, and I love kids, but I don't think I want kids.
Which I respect.
Like, I think with the world that we're in right now,
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
and bro, think of how expensive everything is. Fuck that. Like, it's expensive enough for me. Like, to bring somebody else into that, that's where I'm like, I don't know.
And that's a stance that people should be all right with.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing.
And like, bro, push comes to shove. If I really want a kid, I can adopt a kid. Like, that's where I don't have any problem with that. Like, I think the part of it that does fuck with me is like, if I don't have a kid and my brother doesn't have a kid, we're the last of like my last name, which is, but then I think both of us have to have the conversation, my brother and I, and have that conversation of like, is this it? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is just ego anyways, but it is interesting to think about like your entire lineage just being like,
Yeah, I don't know. My mentality is a little different. Like I haven't actually thought about like, oh, it's so expensive, like all this stuff. I just feel like when time comes, I'll figure it out. I think that's kind of like how I've ran my entire life. Is all right, just bring it on in, and we'll figure it out as we go, type of thing. But that means you don't cut yourself a break, which is why I would say maybe I do understand that mentality of like I just wanted to control that. Be like, hey, I'd rather not do this, just in case. Like, what do I want to figure something else out too? No,
Well, it's one of the
kinda
toughest
crazy.
jobs out there, dude. And that's the thing. I don't think anybody's ever prepared to have a child.
Yeah,
I think that's a cop-out excuse. Like this idea, like, oh, I'll wait till I'm 31 to have a kid. No.
yeah,
bro, let me tell you, at 30, doc, nothing changes.
yeah.
Nothing changes. I'm sitting here at 30. I'm like,
I'm 28, so I'm still
yeah,
catching up to
no,
you.
bro. Nothing changes when you hit 30. So like, I don't think like I'm just as equally as non-ready to have a kid as I was when I was 26.
It's the times, dude. That's I think the major factor. Everything's climbing up, and then that's the thing with us millennials, is that as the ladder climbs, we're just climbing with like we feel like we're climbing up,
But the ladder's on
really
an
the ladder's just
escalator.
getting taller.
Bro, the ladder's on an escalator, and you're just like, fuck. Like, God damn it.
Damn, bro. It's like when did 12K a month not become enough? That's insane.
Bro, it is crazy to see here. Well, because like I don't live here, right? So like
What do
me,
you live on, like 2 cents a day?
yeah. No, but like, so I live in Mexico City. Mexico City, I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's like, in meters, it's like 150 meters. It's like probably like 1,500 square feet. It's a big apartment, right? And I have roof access, and then I have a room, like a utility room on the roof. I pay $1,400 a month for that, for a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet apartment. That here, there's no chance you're getting that. There's no chance. And then like my friends in New York, there's zero
Good
chance.
luck.
Yeah, you're never getting that.
New York's higher than here, huh?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. So I think it's just one of those things. It's interesting, but coming back here and seeing like, dude, y'all got to pay gas, car insurance, get from point A to point B. Fucking sitting in traffic all the time. Fuck that.
Oh yeah. We're not just coming after your money, your time too.
No, literally,
You're spending-
bro. And I would love to see like motherfuckers like step count. We've been talking about this all fucking week. Like my girlfriend and I was like, my average step count over the last 6 months is like 16 or 17,000 steps a day.
Damn.
That's
Right?
impressive.
But like, I live in a walking city and I walk from point A to point B. I go to the gym. I do this. I do that. Like 16, 17,000 steps, easy, bang. I get here and then I'm like fighting to get 10K steps.
Mhm.
And I make time to do it. And I know motherfuckers aren't taking time to do that. That's where I'm just like, and it takes 30, 40 minutes for you to like get like a good walk in, eat somewhere, do something, get a coffee, and then 30, 40 minutes back. Like that's basically what it comes down to. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah, my average is 9,500, and I have to think about it.
Oh yeah. To reach 10K here, you got to really be like, all right, I got to schedule my walks.
No, you got to schedule.
It doesn't
the
come
walks.
naturally.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I was working retail, that's when, like, generally speaking, at the end of the day, it would be around
You'd be
11,000.
taking your steps.
Yeah, I'd be taking my steps. Right.
The amount of
Like,
miles
no
you get
problem.
on your car is probably insane compared to the amount of steps you walk.
For me, oh yeah, 100%. But that's the thing is that, look, after traveling, I always tell Zayd this. After traveling, I start to realize there's a lot of shit that, like, natural, normal shit that is wrong with America, right? And this just could be California in general because we're in a long state. But when you get there, you have two options. It's either metro, spend extreme money to taxi or Uber somewhere, or walk. And most of the population is walking. So there's really nothing wrong with it, rain or shine, right? You're walking everywhere. So I kind of like try to stick by that mentality every time I arrive here. I get to LAX, I'm like, yeah, I'm walking everywhere.
Yeah.
It
LA.
doesn't work
area,
like
bro.
that here.
Yeah.
You know? What are you going to do? Walk 2 miles to Albertsons? Like,
No,
doesn't
it's
make
just
any
because
sense.
the cities aren't made for walking.
Exactly.
Like yours, I would assume is, right?
Yeah.
Well, and like in where I live in Mexico City, yes. Out on the outskirts, no. Like you need a car.
Yeah.
Outside of like, I would say there's like a 7 or 8 mile radius. Outside of that, you're definitely going to be in a car. And Mexico City has like a huge infrastructure problem with traffic. Like between the traffic and people not obeying stoplights and like just like gridlocking the fuck out of intersections.
Like the
dude,
Middle East, bro.
Oh my, dude, I'm just like, dude, if you just listen to the stoplights, there'd be no traffic. And they're like, chinga tu madre, yeah. I'm like, dude, god damn it.
Do they have their own language where they do the double beep?
Oh
to tell
yeah,
you what
oh
to do?
yeah. They're like beep beep. Yeah, I'm like behind you. I was doing it here because I was driving on the freeway and I was like beep beep, and my girlfriend's like, "The fuck you doing?" I was like, "I'm just letting them know what's up." I'm like, "I'm over here."
Everyone needs to know that communication side.
Yeah.
100%. My favorite's the like on my way to Longhorn, but not.
Yeah, but like it's not like beep.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I
It's like a.
I was thrown into the deep end, bro. That's when I first learned to drive. I first
really?
learned to drive in Jordan
no way.
under those conditions. And it was
Honestly, sink or swim, dog.
sink or swim,
There's
absolutely.
something funny. In Egypt, they have like a whole code for like, there's curses that they do with horns. And then they follow, because Arabic is like a kind of, you can sound out a lot of the things. So like, you can either extend letters or shorten them. So it kind of matches the horn, right? So
I'm like, is this Morse code or like what are we
it
talking?
kinda is. So like when I first went there, my uncle was like, yeah, just pay attention to the beeps. And one of them was like, "Bap, bap, 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 bap." And I was like, okay. And then the other one was like, "Bap, bap, bap, bap."
It's
And I'm like,
hieroglyphics and honk
okay.
mode,
So
bro.
he's like, those are 3 different horns. One of them was like really bad. It means like he's like literally coming after your mom, essentially. You know what I mean? So one of them in Arabic was "Yabnil mitnak," and I was like, dude, what the fuck? They're literally just Morse coding horn, like, but everybody kind of collectively knows what the insult
Was
is.
good.
These are amazing, dude.
It's
Like they
"What'd
can
you say
adapt.
about my mom."
They can adapt to so many things, man.
It's
It's
insane,
crazy.
dude. It's one of the only countries where I feel like a tin can and some windows won't, you know, it doesn't change what they would do in person.
Have you been to the Middle East?
Not yet.
Damn,
Oh, dude, we gotta take
Well,
you.
I've been to Morocco, but that was it.
Interesting.
You would love Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go at some point. I've never been to the Middle East, and I haven't been to Asia.
You gotta come with me,
And
dude.
I'm gonna go to Asia in October for work.
Hell yeah.
And then yeah.
What's good out in Asia? You've been to Asia a lot, right? No?
No, I South America, Europe.
Felt like you have.
No. But
Why is that? Just because some countries or parts of the different continents appeal to you more?
I feel like it's kind of like when you don't speak the language, that's where I struggle, right? Not because like I feel like out of bounds or like that I can't ask for what I want or whatever. I just feel like it's kind of disrespectful. And you have like a huge influx of tourists going to Mexico City, for instance, that don't speak Spanish. And it's like, it's okay to go and like hang out and shoot the shit and whatever, like you're a tourist, yeah. But then when you start staying places for longer than a couple weeks, I'm like, now there's an expectation. Like if you can't ask for your coffee after living somewhere for 3 years, you're fucked up. Like, and like people do that, right? Like they'll spend so much time doing like living in a certain place, taking advantage of the prices or whatever. And like, I don't want to be that guy. It's already bad enough that I'm like a straight white male that like, you know, like people are already like,
Stand
Until you
out.
start
and,
speaking.
and then I say, but then I speak Spanish fluently. So then I'm like, all right, cool. Like go fuck yourself. Like this is, I've earned this a little bit,
Yeah.
you know? So like nobody can really come at me. If I go to Asia, I don't know shit. So then I feel like I'm just like everybody else. So then I think there's a part of me that is like trying to be sensitive to that because in a world where nothing is like sacred, like we're international flying daily, you can like take videos of this, that, and the other. Like nothing is really sacred. I think going to a place that is sacred, like you should keep it that way. Like if you're not going there with the best intentions, then then stay the fuck out. And I don't know anything about Asia. I don't know anything about the Middle East. I don't know how to speak the language. I don't know the customs. I don't know anything. Like obviously some things that everybody knows that are like common sense or whatever. But like I don't feel like I'm ready or that I've earned going there. That might be a hot take or something like that, right? But like I don't think that you just because you have the money to go somewhere means that you could or should go there.
It's more intentional. I like that.
Yeah.
Do you like brush up on the country itself prior to going?
Prior to going. Yeah. Like
Duolingo Arabic?
yeah, well, like, it depends, right? Like, I'm again, if I'm a tourist and I'm going for 4 days, then it's one thing. But I don't really travel like that. How many times have I gone to a country just for 4 days? Like, that's not really how I kind of work. So,
I have an interesting question for you.
yeah, bring it.
Where do you consider home, and do you ever feel homesick? Because like I try to think of the feeling of homesick, but I'm like, wait, where is your home?
Yeah,
So it's like, how do you approach that? Do you even get homesick?
yeah.
Like, what's going on with that?
There's good timing in this question. So home for me right now is Mexico City. I've been living in Mexico City for 3 years, 3.5 years almost. And I left Riverside, California. So I'm from Riverside, California. I left Riverside when I was 17. I'm now 30. And so I guess I'm getting to that point where I've spent more time away from home that I spent at home. So that kind of does mess with you, especially because like if we're talking about like customs and things and like traditions within a country, like I feel more Mexican now than I feel American at times. But that's just because that's where I'm spending a lot of my time, right?
Yeah.
But over the past, I would say like year, like my grandma had just passed away. She passed away in November. And my grandma was like the head of the household, the centerpiece of my entire family. And And so coming back, this is my first time coming back since the funeral. And so it's like, I was just coming out from Riverside right now and I was like bawling my eyes out because like that to me was my representation of home. Not necessarily Riverside per se, but just like having my grandma around, you know? And so that's been like a really difficult thing to navigate because like when you do leave home and you aren't where you were born, you have to adapt. You have to speak the language. You have to meet people. You have to go out of your way to kind of be the guy that people know in the neighborhood or whatever, you know? So yeah, it's been something like I've been paying attention to or just tracking in the past couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think it was safe to assume that it must feel strange. Like there might be a feeling where you can't really put a word to it, but it's just, you're observing it.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. I find that fascinating across all of us humans is the way we process things and then the way we observe things too. Everyone has their own unique way of doing it. So I thought that was like a kind of a question I was just really interested in.
Yeah. No, it's been like being away from home for so long. I think that's something that it hardens you a lot, right? Like you have to fend for yourself. I think everybody should do it at some point.
I bet.
And I think that like, if we're going back to like humans being humans, like being nomadic is like part of what we do. Some like groups of people do it and other groups of people don't. They stay by the riverbed or like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like something there biologically speaking that like some people have it in them, some people don't. And since I was 17, like I've always been on the go. So now I'm like getting to the point where I'm like, is Mexico City home or have we worn this home out? Like, am I about to leave again? So that's been a conversation I've been having.
So does that fizzle out in terms of like your desire to go to a new place?
What do you mean?
Yeah, it's just a stupid way to ask that question. I think that
it's not stupid.
No, it's not the way that I wanted to ask it.
Okay.
Do you think that will ever change in you?
That I want to be nomadic?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's something I'm wrestling with because like there's two pros and cons, right? Or there's two schools of thought. On one hand, I really like that I meet new people. I come into new customs. Like I see a different form of thinking. I see a different perspective. I really like that. On the other hand, I have no roots anywhere. So like we've been friends for 6-7 years. Okay. I know you from here, but I left here 6 years ago and I don't come back. Like I haven't lived here. You get what I'm saying? So like it's hard to like rationalize up and moving. I'm like, I get settled, I meet people, and then I leave. And then I move to a new place, and then I get settled, and I meet new people, and I leave. And then, like, that gets kind of exhausting. But you also have this other part of you that is like, wow, I kind of fuck with this because I'm learning new things, and I see a different perspective on life that other people don't really have. So then when I do come home, going back to your homesick question, like, when I do come home, I feel like I'm not home anymore. Because like I see these people that I used to fuck with that I no longer fuck with, and I'm like I don't really necessarily agree with what you're talking about. And so it's hard because like you have like this, like it's like intertwined in like your soul. You want to get the fuck out. You're like, I want to go see things. Like I want to be an adventurer. I want to go see. I'm curious. I get what I'm saying. And then you come back home after all of that stuff, and you're like, fuck, dude, I want a Whole Foods. That's what I want. I want a Whole Foods. I want a Trader Joe's. I want the beach. And I want the sunshine.
Foods pizza slice.
Bro, that's it. I'm like, I just need like some piece of normality. And then you come back home and then you take the bite of pizza and you go to Whole Foods and you're eating at the hot bar and like you hear like the 50-year-old Karen that's like blabbering about some bullshit and you're like, is this it? Like, is this really what I was missing? And that's kind of where I struggle because I'm like, I don't feel like Riverside is home. I don't feel like Newport's home anymore either. And like I used to like put Newport on this pedestal. I was like, fuck, like one day I'm gonna retire in Newport Beach.
That sounds like me right now.
Yeah, bro, right? But like you're like you idolize it. You're like, God damn, one day I'm gonna reach that. And then you go do a bunch of other shit, and then like you come back to Newport Beach and you're like, this don't hit like it used to hit.
Something about it is no connection.
Yeah. But like then the question becomes like, is the connection in the connections that you have, Or are there other places that are supercharged, like energetically speaking, that like can give you something like off the land or whatever? I don't know. But it's tough. And I think a lot of people that don't leave home will never have that experience. And they can't even speak to it because it's an experience or a perspective that they don't have, right? And even the level of questions or conversations that I have with people that have lived in multiple different cities and like navigated that on their own is just different. You get what I'm saying?
An entire different universe.
Because they have that experience. And I think that is something that I really do cherish about Mexico City is there's a lot of people from all over the world. Mexico City is like Latin America's center of commerce, right? So like you have people from Argentina, Brazil, El Salvador, fucking you name it, and they land in Mexico City and they're like the movers and shakers of their country. They get to Mexico City and then that's where you get. So it's similar to New York, like a similar feel, but it's Latin.
I see.
And I did New York for 7 years, right? So it's a natural progression for me to be like adventurous and want to go see something. But now I'm like, is business like really what I want to do? Is money real? Like that's like a whole other.
Dang, dude. That is wild.
It goes to show the personal variance, dude. Like, I'm glad that I experienced that kind of in my early age, not to the degree that you have. And I'm sure you have as well. But I don't know. I feel very comfortable rooted in one place that gives me good energy.
But like, I envy that, honestly.
That's interesting. That's so interesting because it's like, and I know I'm missing out on a lot experience-wise by not having the type of lifestyle you have. But then I understand like you're also missing out on some stuff as well. So it's all pro and con.
Yeah, but like curiosity kills a cat, right? Like there is a part of that like you're on a never-ending hunt for a high that never comes. Like I will never be able to go back to New York City for the first time ever. And that's what I envy. I'm like, if somebody that has never left home at 30 decides to leave home, think about that fucking rush, dog. They've just spent 3 decades doing fuck all. And then they go through a breakup or they lose a child or they fucking do like something happens. And they're like, dude, fuck this, I'm out. And then they can literally change their life and then go explore and like do that stuff. And like I did that when I was 17. So like I've already taken that hit multiple times and every time it's like less and less and less and less and less. And I'm like, fuck. I'm gonna have to go like inside and like actually like get good with myself, which has been like the journey of the past 18 months is like me been paying attention to that kind of stuff like therapy and just a whole bunch of like self-exploration and like looking inside, which has been good. But yeah, it's not as easy as just like picking up and moving to a new city.
Damn, going back to what you just said about going somewhere for the first time doesn't like you can't go back to the same place for the first time. Do you think? Because there's this idea out there where people are like, oh, I'm going to check out Vienna, Austria, and I will try to move there. So I'm going to go there for the first time, check it out, and then I'll decide later, right? There must be, I don't know if the high lasts if you were to just go one time and then establish your life there and then figure it out after. Does that count as the one time or is that a second time?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I think you get a lot more out of doing that.
Like, do you feel like if you went the second time with your sofas or your entire house and you just like imported a bunch of stuff and you're like, all right, now I live here, that would be considered the second time? Would there still be a high? Or you're like, damn,
there definitely is a high, right? But I think there are different things. Like if you're going to visit, and this is with anything, right? But like if you're going to visit something and you get like a little taste and you're like, that was good. Like there's this pastry shop in New York that I'm like, oh man, mama, I fucking love this place.
Yeah.
And then you get the taste of it. You're like, oh, like the second time you go back to that pastry shop, if there's 5 years in between, but like then you get to eat the pastry shop every single day. Like you're going to wait that 5 years and be like, dude, that fucking pastry, I want that pastry so bad. Yeah. And then you get the pastry again for the second time, but it's the first time in 5 years. Like there's still going to be an energy charge there. You're going to be like, oh, fuck, I love this thing. But now you moved to New York and now you get to eat it every day. And eventually there's going to be like a principle of diminished returns. Like it's not going to be as good as it was that first time.
Yeah.
But then there's this pastry shop in Paris and there's another pastry shop in London and another one in Singapore and then another one in Japan. And then like you stop getting supercharged for those because like it's not that pastry shop from New York. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Never-ending
It's just like it's a
pastry shop
never
rabbit
ending
hole.
chase that like
Yeah. And you can always like, here's my logic. Okay, you can always theme a trip. Like it could be like, this is a visit, this is an extended stay, or this is a complete move-in, right?
Yeah.
And then there's other trips where you're like, I'm gonna go try the chocolates of the world. So like each time you go to Vienna, it's actually different, you know. This time I'm doing cocoa. This time, you know,
You got too much money, too much time. If that's
yeah,
what
I'm
you do.
like,
it's crazy. I mean, you gotta back yourself up with money. That's the thing. If we go all the way back to how we started, all right, you don't want kids.
exactly.
You got to do something here.
You gotta decide, man.
Chocolates in Vienna, kids. You make the choice.
That's funny.
Crazy, dude. I mean, I've always wanted to try the nomadic lifestyle, right? But it's not even about having the balls to do it. I just feel like I'm so linked with family here to the point where I just got to take care of them. You know what I mean? So I feel like everyone knows truly, like given their circumstances, what they are able to do and what is considered a bad decision, right? For me, a bad decision would be to go nomadic, for sure. But like, do I have the desire? Hell yeah. Like, I just want to know what it feels like.
But do you?
I do.
But do you?
I do. I like the feeling of being lost.
But the thing is, there's a feeling and then there's a lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it goes to what you're saying. So like, if you really wanted to do it, you would do it.
Yeah.
But maybe your situation doesn't provide
I've done
for
mild versions of like backpacking.
it.
Okay. And it's kind of like I can see who starts to fall off and just go back home.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one that lasts. So I'm like, damn, dude. And then it does. I mean, there are days, obviously, especially when backpacking, and where there comes a time of confusion where you're like, I don't even know where the hell I am.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I got my hands, my legs work. I got a few dollars. I mean, the people eat here, so let me just figure it out. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
You're not necessarily like, oh, I'm just going to be a Google Map oriented person.
Yeah.
You're just like, let me just walk and use the things that God has blessed me with and just like figure it out, you know? And I find it to be more entertaining, but there are small little hours or instances where you're like, I feel a little off, drained, confused, sad, right? And then it just kind of just vanishes, and then you're on to doing it all over. So I've only done that for about a month and a half before, and that was the longest I've ever done it. A lot of my friends quit after like 2 weeks. They're just like, yeah, I need to go home, you know? I need my bed in the corner, like whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just fascinating to me for like, I want to see how far I can take it. And I think a month and a half for me was pretty good given the circumstances that I was in. I did miss out on a lot. I had to come back to like serious business. But again, I know where home is.
Yeah.
That's the difference. So I haven't been able to let go of home. And that's kind of like the key thing. I just can't. And
It's interesting.
That's your answer. That's why I just can't. Why couldn't I? I just can't do it, you know?
There might also be a
tied to
serious genetic link to this.
There it definitely is, man. I feel like
people
everyone
might
is
just be
born with a
fucking-
tolerance of some sort. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way.
I don't know. I've heard
Some people are babies, man. High maintenance. Like, go camping with like a particular person that just like needs to shower daily, right? All right, go one night, bro.
Needs to
See,
scrub
tell me
his
how it goes.
fucking cranium every
Tell me
night.
how it goes. Yo, you guys didn't bring water, dude. My hands are muddy. Yeah, get dirty, bro.
At Blake. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
well, that's real, dude. I
Damn,
think,
you guys didn't bring Starling.
yeah, exactly.
I think in general, like,
Go find wood, dude. It's gonna get cold. I need to see, man.
bro, our species is certainly domesticated en masse by and large. And I think that,
Yeah.
you know, I've heard arguments made that there are ADHD hunter types. Like the reason why ADHD exists is not because it's an inherent flaw in people. It's actually an adaptive mechanism based on their desire and their ability to hunt, if that makes sense. Back in fucking 100,000 years ago or whatever.
Damn. AD? Just kidding. I'm not gonna go there.
So it's tough, man, like navigating this reality, which is not really a part of our species to begin with. That's not how we evolved, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know, just a lot of question marks. You have to
Yeah.
figure this shit out along the way. And so there is no like right answer, of course. It just depends on the person.
You're right. Yeah, there's always a question mark, no matter whether you're domesticated or you're lost. Like, there's always a question mark, man.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know.
crazy. I don't know.
Do you have wisdom for us?
Bitches.
About yeah, exactly.
That's the wisdom. Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I think end of the day, like you just got to do. My girlfriend and I were talking about this morning. So she works in email marketing, and she was talking about how she received this email that basically, long story short, I'm going to paraphrase. This guy was like pissed, like the writer of the email. He was like, dude, honestly, I don't think I've been writing these emails for X amount of years, and I write to 100,000 people in this group, and I receive DMs and emails daily asking for advice, right? Like, oh, how do I do what you're doing or whatever? And he's like, daily, I try to respond to people and give them the best advice that I can. And then they don't listen. And he's like, maybe out of the 100,000 people that I see in this email list, maybe 50 of you are going to actually do something about it. And I think that's just goes to what you're saying, right? Like, I don't think people actually want it. Like, if they wanted it, they would do it. Like,
Yeah.
I want certain things. I go do certain things. And like you could say, like, oh, it's about money, it's about this, it's about that. Go fuck yourself. You're just lazy. You don't want it. Like, if you wanted it, you would get it.
The action tells the result.
Like, exactly.
From here, dude.
It's a thing. Like, you wake up and you grind. You want to fucking put something top bins fucking with your left foot outside the box. This guy worked his ass off for it and could do it consistently. It's because you wanted it and you got it. Like, your action, your day to day routine is going to show if you actually want something. Me speaking fluent Spanish, I wanted it, so I did it, right? Like, there's no like, I want it, and it's just so hard. It's just so hard. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of here, you pussy. Like, it doesn't. It's not rocket science. Like, it's not rocket science, and that's where I get really frustrated because I'm like, I don't know. You can come up with a million fucking excuses. A million. Like, I'm about to run the marathon on Sunday. My fucking calf, my left calf, has been killing me the last 3 weeks. Just out of nowhere, just like, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, kilometer 15, kilometer 20, like right at the half marathon mark, I'm like, that shit hurts. Like, and it actually hurts. Like, it's not like I'm like sitting there, like I feel it in my Achilles. I feel it it just like starts pinching in the calf and then it runs down to my Achilles. Come Sunday, if it happens, dude, I'm not a runner. I fucking hate running. Like, it's not fun. It's not enjoyable for me. It's just something that I was like, I want it. I'm going to go do it. Right. And I don't think like running a marathon is like some crazy goal or some crazy like metric that I hit.
It's not like
that
a Kilimanjaro
I'm
or
not
something.
like, I didn't ride my bike across the country. Right. Like, it's not something that I can like go and be like, yeah, I ran a marathon. Like, I don't think it separates me from other people. But I do think that the day-to-day discipline that it takes to run the marathon and track your sleep, dude, it has helped with my sleep so fucking much. Go run fucking 12 miles and tell me you can't sleep at night. Like, it's just like, I have insomnia. Go run 12 miles.
It's so real. Like,
Fucking
a lot of people
do it.
And I talk about the sleep stuff a lot, but the equation of energy out
Yes.
is just fucking simple.
Bro, it's like, I can't sleep. I'm like, put your phone away. Don't eat at fucking 10:30 p.m.
And start running.
Start running and be tired. Like, actually be tired. And running, you don't like running? Then go fucking swim. Go find an ocean, go find a lake, and go swim until you can't swim anymore. And then go home. I guarantee you, knockout.
Dude, logic over emotion always.
Well,
I
that's
always
what
do.
these-
I always deal with that. I'm like, why am I using words like I don't feel the fuck? You know?
No, it's the truth.
It's straight up. And that's the thing is like, I personally have thoughts. Like, I don't speak it out loud, right? But there's a lot of times where things happen, like in a group chat. Everyone's like linking up on a random whatever. And I'm just like, how the hell do you have... Like, I'm out here willingly drowning in things to do. And then I have to optimize that because I need to sleep by this time so that I can optimize the next day starting early. You know what I mean? And then these guys are out here just like, yo, download the new Call of Duty map. You know, it's like, and that's like 4 hours. I'm like, dude, what? Like, I just can't relate to that. And it's, don't get me wrong, like there's I make time for fun things, but that's the thing. I have to make time for it. Generally, there is no time. And my years just fly by, right? And then I realized I didn't play Counter-Strike at all this year. At all.
Well, people don't consider that the work you do is fun
The
too.
best FPS shooter
I was like, what the
of
fuck
all
is
time. It's a
Counter-Strike?
PC game.
Okay, cool.
What a CS,
It's
bro.
been out since
Gay?
Yeah,
No, it's
gay. The whole CS community is coming
yeah,
out.
I'm like, go outside, bitch.
Dude. It's like I have a desire for like it's entertaining. I love movies too. Like I've always watched movies. I like follow along and all this stuff. There were movies that I missed in cinema. Like I just completely lost. I'm just like, you know what? My priority is to be here in this spot in like 5, 10 years, 2 years, whatever, right? So once you start thinking in like quarterly terms, then you're like, damn, dude, every time I plan for the fourth quarter to be like this, I'm not even there yet on the sixth quarter, technically, which is the following year. So like, I've just realized I'm a high shooter, okay? And if I get a little bit below that by the end of the year, then I still made progress. But I'm still counting my progress. So that equates into I genuinely don't have time other than like 3, 4 like really important things. And then the fourth one's probably like family.
Yeah.
So I don't know why people don't think like that, but it does make sense now that some people are just not equipped with having the tolerance level of being like, I'm going to put my feelings aside and just kind of logically want something to that degree.
Well, dude, that's a side effect of domestication.
I
The
mean,
environment is fucked.
but I don't know though.
I don't
domesticated in a
inherently
sense.
believe that people are
you
lazy as
see me,
shit.
bro. You see me. Like I'm at the studio just editing for like hours, you know, kicking it. I'm domesticated in the corner or whatever. But then I have my fair share of like meeting people, networking, going out, different appointments. I'm doing shoots. Like it's like split. But there's something within the domestication that's messed up. It's the style of it. I think it has a lot to do with like not having a clear goal. You just desire a bunch of things in a bag and you shake it up, and every day you just come up with a thought like, oh, today I just want RGB lights for some damn reason, you know? Like that's not gonna get you anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Slow dopamine.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I know.
Bro.
like our dreams are like we want a pitted circle, dude. We want to build a pitted circle and call that the podcast.
You know those 70s, 80s
Oh, dude, the
setups?
conversation pits?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, hey, mama, I fucking love them. I love them.
That's good. That's
I
what
was telling them they're like 50 to 100K. So
As,
we plan
honestly,
for that, you know what
fucking
I'm saying?
dope.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
I
that.
think it'd be sick.
We're going to do that.
So like those are real dreams, man. I don't know, dude. Who am I
I
to
just
tell
want a
anyone about
conversation
anything?
pit, dog.
Yeah, but it's just funny, and I feel like that's where you can be like, hey, man, this is where I'm different, and that's where the 50 people out of 100,000 come from. It's just you really are built a little bit different.
No, but
Not to boast ourselves or anything.
you will always, the cream will rise to the top, I think, is just the end of the statement. Like I didn't take myself seriously outside of football until I was 27, right? Like it wasn't until I had a close friend commit suicide that like that woke me up. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, and it was a money thing. Like, I don't need to go into details on that, but like it was something that was potentially like it could have not happened, right? It was preventable. And that was something that woke me up where it was like, fuck, dude, like I haven't been my best self. I'm not making money a priority. And I think that that's something that like, as a dude, like you need to provide, whether it be for yourself and you don't want a family or you want to provide for a family. Like I don't want me personally, I don't want to walk into a family and then my girlfriend, my wife being like, oh, like, hey, I'm the breadwinner here. I'd be like,
Hold on.
that for me doesn't sit right.
We don't go against nature in this family.
But like it was just for me something that woke me up. And then like I got after it. But I think the discipline that people have, it just varies. And again, getting into like energetics and shit, and like reincarnation and all that kind of stuff. Like if it's your first go around, maybe you're just like all over the place and like you're like a total NPC. Like you don't know what the fuck's going on. You're just like, yeah, you're just like, holy shit, like I want RGB lights now. Like that is how it like their mind thinks, not necessarily, oh fuck, like I'm gonna play the long game of this. And maybe it's just like over time you come back to this earth and like get after it. I don't know, like
indulging in distraction. That's kind of like, because I've had those thoughts too, man. Like where it's just like I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what, I need a new keyboard. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm just like, well, if I really take a step back, everything's functioning just fine. I'm getting to the goal with my current keyboard. Why the hell do I need it?
Yeah.
Why? Because it has a new click.
But it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
But it massages your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But like, there's people like you can always recognize these people, but like even in a screening process, right? It's a more than a personality type. It is a personality type, but it's also like it's energy. You can feel it, and then if you give that person a shot based off of that screening process of like you get good energy and a personality. Let's just say they have nothing. I have like one of my cousins I'm super proud of. This kid was always a little kid to me, okay? And then he's now, I think, 23 years old, 24 years old. He went to college for something unrelated to what he does now, but he is literally making it. And the way he started was he would like my posts. Like he'd just be like, oh, how did you take this photo? Like, what apps do you use? What software? Like what? And it would just be like dumb 5th grade questions, right? And then it evolved into like 2 years of like, hey, I downloaded Adobe Premiere and I'm trying to make this video. How did you do this one part or whatever? And I was like, okay, this guy wants to learn, right? So then I teach him. And then a year after that, this guy's like doing like Qatar Foundation like work with princes and like getting flown out to different countries to like do event photography and shit like that. I'm like, what the hell? They're like, if you want something, you'll do it. And that's like, he's a living representation of what the hell that is.
Just getting after it.
He was nothing. He has no degree, has no resume to cover his ass, like nothing. And he's all of a sudden, he just like beat like this giant 500,000 plus community of photographers into becoming like top one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the framework is simple.
It's insane. Like
you just stick with one or two things for years on end and just keep doing it every day. But it's like excruciatingly
persistently. I can imagine him just being persistently annoying in like meetings or emails, stuff like that, just to like give him a shot.
But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
That's what it takes to
you gotta have the balls to do that, man.
And to bet on yourself consistently, right?
Yeah, and you can see that in some people. It's very few, but
yeah,
I feel like that's where the 1% comes from. It's just it could be genetically infused.
I think you're the ADHD right hunter type, bro.
Yeah,
I am.
Drop some wisdom for us, bro. What do you have? What are you thinking about lately? Because I know there's a bunch of ideas flowing through your mind at all times. So
yeah, I guess like the things that I'm working on right now. The question of like being homesick and stuff like that, trying to figure out roots and that kind of stuff has been one of like the big personal goals that I've been going after. I think that the past, you just said it right now, talking about like focusing on one thing. Like I got a contract with Kings League and I decided to turn it down. And that was the first time I had ever turned down a contract to play soccer. Like that was like my goal for fucking ever. Like,
big
to
move.
Just like consistently push and push and push and push and push. And for whatever reason, it just stopped feeling aligned for what I wanted. Which is hard, right? Like, dude, you push for years and years and years and you buy cleats and you go to the field and you play by yourself and you play through the bruises and play through the injuries. And then you finally get a shot and then you're like, actually, no, this isn't what I want anymore. And the only reason I did that was because I was like, I work in crypto and that right now we're in a position where like I see what I'm going after, and like I need time to build that out and to make sure that we hit exactly what I want. And so like I went into the cycle with a plan, and like I followed the script, and we're like one trade away from that being like exactly what I want. And then from there, like you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? Like you can go do the things that you've always thought you wanted to go do. But like there is a barrier to entry with money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's something that I'm pretty passionate about, like talking about kids that like don't have a shot, or the way that I've been framing it is like, how do you go 0 to 1, right? Like how do you go 0 to 1 and then 1 to 10, right? But the 0 to 1 is the hardest fucking part. Every single fucking time. It never fails. 0 to 1 is hard. So how do you do that? How do you do that with a job? How do you do that with investments? How do you do that with a skill? How do you do that with a fucking exercise or whatever, right? Like you're not going to start hitting pistol squats if you don't know how to squat your own body weight, right? Like you can't. And so like, how do you turn $1 million? How do you get to $1 million off of $15? Like you're not going to go 15 to 1 million in one trade. That's not how it's going to happen, right? And so like this whole idea of like, what am I here for after like pursuing, I just turned 30, right? So like I'm 30. What does 30 feel like? And like, what is 40 going to feel like? And how do I need to start shaping and reverse engineering what I want to be when I'm 40? And like, dude, coming back to America and seeing how fucking fat people are, it's crazy. It's crazy. And like, I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody, but it's just like, holy shit,
it's an
dude.
objective
Like,
fact.
yeah, like it's like we're the fattest country in the world, and you walk back in, like people are joking about taking 2,500 steps a day, maybe, right? Like I would love to see the average step count for people in America. It'd be crazy.
3 to 4.
I don't even know if that's like, bro,
I
like
think it's
average.
That's an average. That's an average.
Average.
1,500 to 2,500, bro.
Bro, you start going deeper into the States, 1,500 maybe.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? And so,
Damn, dude.
like,
from the kitchen to the room 6 times a day.
yeah, exactly. But like,
it's tragic, bro.
but so, like, how do kids now that are born into this country, how do they navigate their opportunities, right? Like, and it is way easier now because like competition is so much less than it was 30, 40 years ago, right? Like people were in better headspace, like the mental capacity that people had to go push was different. Like people actually worked hard. And it doesn't take as much now to be successful, but it does take attention. It does take discipline, right? So yeah, I guess like those are the things that I'm working on. I'm working through. Like I think that as a man that's like 30 and like had his fair share of like childhood trauma and like those kind of things, like I've been going to therapy, I've been going down that road and like trying to like look inward, like I was saying earlier. Like those are the things that make 0 to 1 possible. And then when you make that jump from 0 to 1, 1 to 10 is so much easier. 1 to 10 is so much easier once you have a foundation, right?
And then momentum works for you.
Oh yeah, like dude, life is a momentum based game.
Yeah,
like
facts.
it just is. Like pushing, like have you guys ever done like a sled push? Right? Like I just did my first High Rocks. I have another one coming up in a month. And High Rocks Pro, you're pushing like a 450 pound sled, right? And you have to push it, and it's not even just like pushing it. So I think it's 12.5 times 4. I think it's like 50 yards that you do, or maybe 80. I don't remember. But like they break it up into 4 goes. So you have to like push it there and turn around and push it back and then go. And like you have no momentum, right? And so like pushing a 450 pound sled as is like a pain in the ass because that bitch is heavy. But then you have to stop and turn around. And what it does mentally for you to like be going good. You're like, dude, I got this. I'm a fucking beast. I'm a beast. I'm a beast. I'm a beast. You get to the end, you're like, fuck, I got to turn around. You got to be a beast again, right? Like, and I think that that's something that we don't really talk about in society is like having the momentum and then losing the momentum and then starting again. And this is where like the savages come from, right? Like the guys that are able to lose it all and come back and go into the arena again. And like, dude, how many times have I lost 6 figures? Like building my portfolio, like how many times have I lost 6 figures to 0? Like 3 or 4. Or like literally was like that close and then wiped out. That close, wiped out.
That's why I like sprint-based training. Because it informs your spirit, man. It really does like translate into how you live.
Yeah.
Like how I drive is the same way how I train, and how I write is the same way. Like that's I think why I've always hated endurance work, to be
Bro,
honest.
but see, this is where I would challenge you
To
because
go into endurance work,
yo,
yeah.
I fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I sit there and I don't listen to headphones. I don't have anything. Like, I'm going on my long runs and I'm like doing 30K and I'm just like sitting there, no headphones, just thinking. And like my friends that run with me, they're like, dude, do you ever put headphones in? I'm like, no. Like, it's my time to like show myself that I can do it and do it and do it and do it. And it sounds like I'm not trying to be Goggins. I'm not trying to like be like somebody that I'm not. I want to show myself that I can go into the arena on my own with my own like endurance, my own volition, and go in and do it again. And then finish and then go back to the iron and do it again. And so I think that that's something that I've been pretty passionate about the past like year, is just really showing myself like you know when you're in your 20s and you're like, "Oh, I'm a writer, or I'm an artist, or I'm fucking a photographer." And then you have nothing to show for it. But like in your head, you're like, "Oh, I made a couple Instagram posts," or
You're prolific.
yeah,
in your head,
you're like,
bro.
"I'm good at this." Like people tell me like, "Oh yeah, you're such a good writer. Like maybe you should write. Like you should write a book." And you ride that into your 30s, and like you've been told so often that you're good at something, and so then it becomes part of your identity. Fair, like totally fair, right? Like you haven't had enough time to really show who you be, and you haven't really taken the time to look inwardly to like see if like that's actually what you want to be, or like could you make a career out of this or whatever. I think at 30 is where it stops. Like you can't look yourself in the face and like speak to yourself in the mirror and say like, "Oh yeah, I'm that man," if you aren't actually that man, right? Like I look back into my cookie jar, right? I look back into my past and be like, okay, I did ride my bike across the country with no support. That was just daddy. Like I fucking did that shit. Now I've been to 40 plus countries. Like I paid for all my shit like that. I wasn't having like daddy pay for shit. Like that was me paying for it, right? Like High Rocks marathon. Now like the next thing I want to do is I want to run from Oaxaca to Mexico. Just like 9 or 10 marathons back to back. And like just to fucking do it and just show myself. Like I miss the bike trip. Like the simplicity of it. Like you wake up and you're like, "Oh fuck, like I'm gonna ride my bike today." Like there's nothing more. Like it's just like human. And that's where I think that there's this like drive to like, I don't know, like
To tap into something more primal.
yeah, like just because like dude, like outside of fucking the system of money, like what we doing?
It's very easy to get bored in this society, dude.
But that's where, going back to our earlier point of like you like being okay with putting down roots, that's where I get scared. Because I'm like, I feel like as soon as I put in roots, game's over. But how do you go back to being like, "Oh, yeah, dude, life is good." I'm like, life is good at 30? Life is good at 30? Like, that to me is like a fucking, like I'm signing my death note. I'm like, all right.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, with putting back roots, I don't have that feeling whatsoever.
Right,
I'm not
right.
taking, life is good. Like, honestly, I'm neurotic.
Yeah, but
most of the
you go
time.
inward like a motherfucker.
Exactly.
And you still are doing like prolific shit with your life.
Yeah, and so is he. And I would assume you. I don't know if you're as neurotic as I
I go
am.
for good moments.
You have
I really do, and I like when I'm in a good moment. I go, I need to memorize this, and just be like, damn, this was good, cool. That's
bro,
it.
with this guy, he has taste and he has the eye. Like those are kind of the things I associate with you.
Look, you can hang your hat on that for a couple more years, dog.
But yeah, I don't have this, and you can talk to Kara about this, dude. Like there are times where I'm a pain in the ass.
Oh, dude, I don't doubt that a bit, dog.
Exactly. And I think it comes from multiple things. I mean, obviously my dad passing created like a fucking fire in me that won't stop ever.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a pain in the ass to all the dermatologists and ophthalmologists and everyone else. And so, and then that's also kind of influenced by my experience with soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Like you focus on 22 years of one thing at a high level, and you'll you'll get to that kind of personality, right?
You know me. I've always been like, why are you so competitive about the stupidest shit? Like,
Exactly. That's what they were
I
saying
wanna
about
win.
Jordan and Kobe and all these other guys who you look up to. But when push comes to shove, the personality is, it's an asshole archetype as well.
yeah, like
Yeah.
we could be at a ping pong table, and then you're like,
I want to win.
you're examining the whole goddamn charade. You know what I mean? And then I'm just like, all right, when are we gonna eat? You know, like,
Yeah.
like I'm here for the vibes, and then you're out here to like
Low key, I judge
beat
people
everyone
off
in
of
the
that, bro.
room.
I
you
know.
what
Same.
Judging me so hard off of that.
So I'm like, it's crazy how we're all wired differently, but it's just I have to just say it's probably because of soccer for you.
Yeah,
You know
I mean
what
that's
like
first
that's why
and
you're just
foremost,
competitive. Like if there's an argument, you have to win. Like
Yeah.
because you look at it like a sport.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I wouldn't change it because like that,
That's a good
and
fire.
I see it as something that it's a superpower. Because like, look at my brother. My brother doesn't have that same. My brother's like an artist. Like he's like, oh, like fuck it. Like if I win, I win. And I'm like,
The fuck?
what are you
doesn't
talking
compute.
about? Like it's like not. It's not like I have to win or like I don't get paid if I don't win or something like that. Like there's no like drive with that and like. Obviously, like Enneagrams and shit like that, like the personality tests and shit, like I find some solace in that because like Enneagram, I'm a total 3. Like I'm an achiever through and through. And it's like you will separate your emotions for the accolades. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's me. Right. And like I like it. And like my friends will ask me, they're like, dude, why do you like to suffer? And I'm like, it's not that I like to suffer, it's just like I like being better than you.
Damn, straight up.
No,
That's
straight
it.
up the
And like
mentality.
I want you to know that I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And it's not just about that. It's you gain an internal satisfaction for its own sake.
Oh yeah.
But so it's coupled to that as well.
It starts with like the drive to like prove somebody wrong. As when you're a child, right? Like my teacher told me I couldn't do this, so I'm gonna do it.
And I conquered Rome.
Yeah, exactly. Like you start with that, like that's where it comes from.
That's facts, yeah.
And then it starts progressing into like you liking what you're doing and then that becoming your identity, right? Like your identity is like, I am the person that can push through this. And I think that now for me, like that's why I got into endurance running. I can't just half-ass something. I can't. Like it is impossible. Like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it totally. And so like, have you guys heard of Leadville 100? It's a 100-mile race in Colorado. The target time is like 25 hours. Like if you finish under 25 hours, you're a fucking savage. But the race starts at like 9,000 feet elevation and it goes all the way up to almost 14,000 feet elevation.
Makes sense for Colorado.
So you go all the way up, you climb a pass, you go all the way down the pass, you touch a point, and then you fucking come back. Okay? I saw it and I was like, bro, mind you, I have never ran ever in my life more than 4 miles. Like 4 miles, I was a goalkeeper. Like, when would I ever run?
Yeah.
Like I ran the Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Like I ran that fast as fuck. And the Cooper test is like back-to-back miles, sub 5-minute mile.
Kicked
right?
my ass, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I was
that's
only
right,
15
baby.
seconds behind.
But I was like, I ran a 4:43 and a 4:52. And like I was the only one that passed day one. And I was like, that's right, bitches.
Yeah.
I'm better than you.
Go.
But-
Fuck yo, sir.
But to your point of like, people have a desire to change those aspects of themselves. I don't think you should. I think by trying to mess with that, you end up creating a bigger problem.
Oh yeah, you got to lean into it.
You have to, that's why they call it an edge, because you can cut yourself with the edge and you can get hurt.
That's why you schedule laziness. You do it at the opposite form. You're not lazy and then you schedule like fiery moments. No, you're constantly fiery and then you schedule laziness.
Bro,
all
I
it
honestly do that.
100%.
My girl just told me, she's like, you're lazy as fuck. And I was like, bitch, what?
What the fuck?
What did you say? I was like, nobody in my life has ever called me lazy. And she's like, why are you so lazy? And I was
so
like,
offended by that.
I was like, dude, it like fired me up. But she's like, I say that she Weimaraners around. Like, she's like a dog. Like, she'll like, she has to like fucking play with things. And like, I love it because she's like so disciplined with her stuff, right? She's like so regimented. I'm not nearly as regimented as you. Like, I will follow a script up to a point, but like, I'm not like at 6 a.m. I take this and I fucking show my asshole to the sun. I don't do that, right? Like that's for you.
Do that, bro. Come on.
But he's like, okay, like, and like you have like your regiment, and that's what you do,
Yeah.
and you're good at it. Like, and I respect it. I don't have that in that sense. Like, I do my own thing, and I just like get it done, and I'm disciplined with my own way. But like what Elena has showed me is like she is so strict with things to a point where like if it starts getting outside of her system, she gets like really frustrated by it. And I'm like, girl, it's fine. You're like 15 minutes late. It's not that big of a deal. And she's like, I always eat at 1. And I'm like,
whoa, okay.
I'm like,
sorry. Yeah.
all right. And she like fucking snake bite, like smack. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. But like there is a lot to learn for me from people like that, right? Like of like taking it more serious. My bedtime, bro. I was the king of running on no sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I was the king of running on no sleep, dog. I never
way to live, Dalton.
slept. In college, I was a triple major. I had a 3.9 something GPA. I never slept.
That's insane.
And I was averaging like 3.5 to 4 hours of sleep a night. Oh. I was sleeping in the library. I was like never like in fully dark. Like I never paid attention to it. And it took a long time for me to actually start kind of regressing into paying attention to how I felt going to bed at 9:30. Mm-hmm. And so like now my average bedtime is like, I would say between 9:30 and 10. And like that coming from like normal like 12:30 bedtime. And like getting to 9:30 or 10, bro, that takes so much discipline.
It does.
So much discipline. And like my friends are like, oh, we're gonna go out for a beer. I stopped drinking. And then now I'm like, fuck, I'm not socializing. And I'm like, fuck, like but then you have to find a new way to socialize. And I think that's a whole nother topic, but like men not having friends, like adult friends. And that's something that I've done a really good job of, right? But like a lot of that is based on drinking. And like if people aren't drinking, like it's just a weird one, man. So
just like these supplements we just got, B4.
Before, yeah.
Yeah.
Potential sponsor.
Remember how you said people are saying like it's good for alcohol quitters because you get that social aspect back.
It's like a fluid type of feeling, you know, no social anxiety.
Why do you have to rely on something to be social? Like
a lot of people do, bro. A lot of people can't manufacture that from within.
That's insane, dude.
I prefer having something in my system, not alcohol,
but
the
world is fake.
Nicotine or something. I like the
buzz.
Yeah, the buzz. And I like it going into social settings. So like going raw dog. I mean, obviously I could do it, but
bro, I'm raw dog daddy. That's what I do.
Bro, this guy looks at the plane flight.
Hours, I just did it when I was going Barcelona to LAX. Dude, it fucking 13 hours and I fucking forgot my headphones. I didn't have shit. I was just like this.
What do you think about in that scenario, bro?
Bro, it's just
observing.
No, like I busted out my freaking journal and I just started writing and I was like, all right, cool. Like, and that's like, I don't know, like just time to. I guess my question would be, I do have a question for you guys. So like, right now I'm reading a book. Surprise, surprise.
A book?
I don't read,
you
dog.
Can read?
I didn't think I could read either. I've been practicing my words. But like, so I've always been a huge Matthew McConaughey fan. Fucking massive. Really? Bro, I fucking love it. And I'm reading Green Lights, right?
Oh, dude.
Bro, so fucking good.
He was raving about that book.
Yeah. So fucking good. And I guess like one of my main takes from this book and I'm like not a film guy or anything like that, but I think Matthew McConaughey has like transcended film and he's just like a character for all of us to like admire, right? What do you think now at the age that you are, what is something that you're not doing that you should be doing to be where you want to be in 10 years? Damn. And like, what is that thing?
Well, I know exactly what it is.
All right, fucking.
I'm just not training as much, bro. Daddy life is kicking in, and I'm getting a little bit of weight.
Yeah. No, I've been training. See, I'm the opposite of that.
Yeah,
I need to think about this for a second.
So it's pretty simple from that angle for me. Yeah, work wise, I mean, look, I'm just going to continue to pursue what resonates with me, and it seems to be working out. Like I don't have any goals 10 years from now. I actually like completely have thrown the goals idea out the window. I am now a follower of whatever I resonate with the most. and becoming a master in that scenario. But yeah, I would say training more, getting back to my soccer fitness for sure, because I have lost touch with that in a big way. I still train relatively consistently, but the mentality has taken a big hit. So that's what it is for me.
For me, it's probably just more like more personal approach to things, like controlling anger, for example. Like that's a good one. I think in particular situations, because I'm not saying that I don't control it. I know when to speak and when not to, to kind of like let things cool down, whatever, let myself cool down so I can articulate better and come up with a crazy kind of comeback to it. But I think probably not being as explosive when it comes to certain situations. Handle them like an adult more than, because one of the things I fear is having like child type tendencies, especially mental ones, in situations that could probably hurt your life more than help it, especially as life gets more serious. So I don't know. I feel like that's just a way that I need to organize the way I process certain things. But yeah, other than that, I think all physical and career related things I'm pretty solid on.
There's some areas where you have a good idea of like, I'm in check.
Yeah, 100%. Like I know I need to check myself constantly on this one thing, and it's something that I have been struggling with, but that's kind of it. And then more so being on the emotional side of things, because I can be the type of person to dissociate a lot. I hear that a lot with creatives for some reason. But it's like dissociating and taking your things out of problems that do actually have a lot to do with you. But you just come off as like a cold type of person. Yeah. When you don't mean to be. It's a different kind of thing for the receiver. So.
It is, dude, like dissociation. I'm close with a few people that dissociate bad. And I think it's obviously a tool, but it's like, I don't think it's a helpful tool. It's helpful in the sense that like you get through what you get through.
You have it as a trigger. You can do that. Yeah. It's kind of like a superpower, but
on the receiver end, what you're talking about, horrible. Like it's not. Yeah. And I think it does cost. There's a price that you pay with that.
100%. What does it practically look like
for like somebody that dissociates, like being a receiver of somebody that dissociates, or just dissociation?
Just someone who generally does it.
Like not having access to your emotions as a way to glaze over something that's difficult. Like instead of going in to like, okay, let's say like you have something that is difficult in a relationship, right?
Your girl starts arguing.
Yeah, like so, there's a consistent trigger within the relationship that you aren't happy with and that she's not happy with, right? Let's say you drink too much, right? But you drink to escape like the things that you're not paying attention to, and then she gets pissed that you're drinking, and then like it becomes like this thing. So then instead of drinking and having the hard conversation about like why you drink or whatever, you end up dissociating and like not having emotional access to that conversation. Like you just like ignore.
Yeah.
It's cope to avoid like, the pain.
Yeah, one of them is going down the tunnel and you're just observing the tunnel. Like you're just there. You're not going down in the journey of it. So your emotional aspect is out of it. And you'd be like, I understand they're pissed, but you're not indulging in the full motion of it, I think.
Lack of emotional commitment and lack of intention.
Yeah, lack of presence.
Lack of presence, yeah.
Right? Like not being present with the problem. And I think that this is something that,
Hell yeah, brother.
I have no idea. I was like, God crazy. Damn. But like, I think one of the...
Is that someone on the other side of the room?
Yeah.
I just thought he was ripping asses.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
But I think that one of the things that I've been paying attention to over the past, like,
Okay. You're not ripping ass. There's someone next door.
I'm like,
I don't know if you guys can hear that to begin with, but we thought our guest was farting.
I was like,
God damn, welcome to California.
But I think being present in like the hard shit is something that is like, is so valuable. So valuable. Like, how many times do you know what you should be doing, but you don't do it? Whether it be a conversation with your girl, whether it be a conversation with your boss, whether it be you like sticking to a workout plan and not being a pussy or whatever the fuck it is. Like, and then instead just being like, oh, like I'm going to go on TikTok or I'm going to like not like actually go down the rabbit hole. Right. And like, I think that that's something that we just like, bro, life is precious. I fucking sound like a total hippy dippy dude. And I don't mean like, it's not, I'm not hippy dippy, but it's just like, we're here once. Right? Like if you're 30, like, and you're overweight and you've done like, you haven't been like showing up as your best self, do you think you're going to show up to 40 and be in better shape? Like, no. You're not. Like, it's not going to happen. Like if you're drinking and drugging all the time at 25 and you think you're invincible until like one of your homies passes away because of fentanyl or whatever. And then all of a sudden you're going to have like a rude awakening. That's almost best case scenario. Like you have a rude awakening and then you get your shit together. But what happens if nobody passes away and then all of a sudden you're fucking 35 and you're still drinking and drugging? Mm-hmm. That's embarrassing.
And very common.
And super common. Like super common. And like I see friends of mine that like justify it in their own way, right? They're like, yeah, it's like a spiritual thing. And I'm like, you can MDMA all you want, but like you can play the mental gymnastics, but like, and I'm not talking shit on it, right? Like you can go down the rabbit hole and like indulge in substance. Like I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but what is a bad thing is like when you use it as a tool to dissociate from the actual problems that you're not fucking facing. Mm-hmm. And like I'm talking to myself too. Like there are things that I don't like talking about because like I'm anxious avoidant and I don't like fucking talking about it. Right. And that's when I go into my hole of being like a athlete or like going into these races and things like that. Like it's my safe space to be me. And I'm like, fuck, nobody can yell at me. Nobody can fucking tell me that I'm being a bad partner, a bad friend, I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'm racing. Right. And like that is my safe place because like during a soccer game, it's the 36th minute and you're losing 1-0. The last thing you're thinking about is an argument with your girl. The first thing you're thinking about is like, how the fuck do we win this game? And that gives you 90 minutes of like pure solitude that you're just like present. Mm-hmm. And I think that is where like the power of dissociation comes in is like, okay, all of this is chaos, game time. And it's a superpower. Now, when you're not an athlete, and you're living your day-to-day life, it is no longer a superpower. It's actually a huge fucking weakness. And you're ignoring things that you should be having conversations about.
Yeah, you just don't want to go down the spiral of emotion.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck.
That's why you're dissociating.
Yeah. And like
you'd rather resolve it from before it starts.
Well, not even. Just like if there are things that you should have a conversation with about right now that you've been putting off for months because you're like, oh, my girl's going to get pissed about this or my dad's not going to like what I have to say or what. Just have the conversation.
Yeah, you're always trying to time it. There's no
there is no perfect timing.
It's not going to get better if you do nothing.
Yeah.
You have to look at it like it's an emotional or spiritual wound. It will fester and it will get worse over time if you leave it untreated.
Sometimes it makes me laugh. Okay, like where I'm just like, all right, I'm going to do it. And you're about to do it and it's just like my uncle passed away. I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, great job, asshole.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
That's facts, though. That's crazy.
No, but I think that's something that a lot of people, like, I see it more now because we have so many distractions, right? Like, how many distractions do we have on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
Like, you could just go on your phone and, like, freaking numb yourself out.
100%.
And I'm like...
Doesn't have to be porn.
No. Like, dude, just get on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you're looking at.
Yeah.
But I guess another take on that would be, like, curation of your timeline.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't curate your timeline, you're literally getting brainwashed. Like...
You know how you curate your timeline? The ultimate solve.
Fucking
Yeah.
get rid of it.
No, you just be a creator.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
yeah.
create.
No, but like you have to go through. Like I stopped following most people. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about what this person had. Like him and his wife are both like not working out. They have 3 kids. They live in the suburbs. I don't fucking care what you think.
Maybe I should start doing that, to be honest.
I literally like I don't see any of my homies from college. I don't care. Like it makes no difference to me. Like it's your fucking third born's like birthday. Like you think I give a fuck? I really don't. Like
Yeah.
it does nothing for. And it's not me being an asshole. That's just me being honest.
You're just
like
straight honest. Yeah.
like I would much rather hear what XYZ expert or professional or whatever is talking about, because like if it's not making me more money and it's not making me smarter, then it's just a distraction, right? And like I sound like such a fucking asshole, but like it's the truth. Like, and I think that that's something that recently I've just been showing to me, like consistently. Life is a mirror, right? Like it's gonna show you what's good, and like I don't know.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, there's a reason why I love photography, and it's the feeling associated with it. Other than like the final result of the image, but it's not just about the image itself. It's about like when you go on photo walks, right? First of all, it's kind of like you're in a meditative state in some sort, where you kind of lay your brain on a pillow, and then you're looking at things with like your soul's perspective rather than just like straight eyes or brain. Like there's no, I don't know how to explain it, but it's multiple things, right? I'm out on a walk somewhere new and I'm looking at details. So I'm looking up, down, corners. Like I'm not just looking at a pathway to see if I'm gonna hit anything on my walk. You're just becoming fully observant and you make a day out of it. So it's kind of like you're taking your soul on a vacation, if that makes sense. And that's the reason why, like, I always tell people, like, you should do more photo walks. Don't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna post as much as possible. Like, just make it a goal, and then don't look at your pictures until later. You know, after dinner, then you look at your day. It's kind of like it's a different kind of meditation.
Hell, for people who are addicted to tech like me, I mean, just going on
You
a fucking
slow
walk
down
without my phone
time.
is enough.
Yeah, everything's cool, dude.
Do you spend a lot of time on your phone?
Oh God, bro, I've got
Yeah.
a massive addiction.
Really?
Yeah, of
Pull out your
course.
screen time right now,
It's probably 10 hours, bro.
bro.
By the mere nature of my work, I'm addicted to my
It's
phone.
8 a.m. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that, you know, it's interesting because I feel like I was actually wiser or more present when I was 17, 18, around the time when my dad passed, because it was like, fuck, I'm trying to figure so much out.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure this out, trying to really foster my relationship with reality and see what this has for me. But yeah, it's interesting. I think meditation was a really good practice for me back then. I would do it religiously, like 20 minutes a day.
Bro, see, that's something that I don't meditate nearly as much as I used to, at all.
I feel like I was wiser back then.
Yeah, but like I guess the flip side of that is like you have so much more intelligence now. You have so much more that you have consumed, and you have so much more direction than you had when you were 18, right?
Or sorry, not wiser, more emotionally regulated.
Oh yeah, well that's fucking totally fair. If you're on your fucking phone 10 hours a day, and like, dude, like I'm fucking am a crypto trader. Like I have to be on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's just like a total cesspool of people like fucking being incels. And like, it's not like where you go to get wise. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I've been like, okay, I'm going to hang out for another year. And like, this is what I'm doing. And like, these are my goals and I'm going to hit my goals and I'm going to get the fuck out. But I think I'm on my phone a lot for work. Like I do business development. Like I'm always like making connections and chatting with people and stuff. But it is, I think having the disconnection at some point, and again, I fucking harping on endurance sports, but like you're not checking your phone on a fucking 2 hour long run. You're not. I'm not going to be at the marathon tomorrow or 2 days from now and being like, oh, I wonder what they're saying on Twitter. Like,
What's my heart rate at?
Yeah, and like that, I'm not checking shit like that. Like I'm just fucking like locked in, and I think it's a good because I have friends that meditate a lot, but they don't work out like I work out. And so, like, going to your point about like whatever you're most interested in is going to be like there is a meditative state. Playing a soccer game, meditative as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm like breathing deep. I'm paying attention. I'm like very present. Which, like, other people will sit on a freaking pillow and they'll just be like sitting there doing their chants or whatever. I don't do that. I don't necessarily need to do that because, like, I have other things that I do that put me in that same place. But I think, like, when people get like locked in on this is exactly how you should do it, it's like,
No, I agree.
there are a million ways.
yeah, there's so many different ways
I
to.
agree. I agree. Yeah, I mean, like you could feel meditative on a hammock, dude. Like,
Oh yeah,
And ironically, the people who like are so big on meditation, they kind of go against the nature of meditation because they kind of turn it into a religion.
Yeah.
And that's not the fucking point. It's not to spread this message to everyone.
Yeah.
It's like you can meditate doing whatever.
yeah. No, I think it's cool. It's one of those things that I've been like putting into practice and not having the expectations of other people. Like if people are like, you should be meditating more, you should be doing this or that. I'm like, dude, 10 minutes closing my eyes and like counting to 10, to me, sometimes I need it. Other times I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm dysregulated. That being said, like me coming back home this week has been like super dysregulating. Like I've been all over the fucking place. But so maybe right now would be a good time to have it. Like I think it is a skill that you can pull out of your tool belt and be like, all right, this is the time to do it, you know?
I want to thank you for coming on. I know that even though you've been kind of all over the place, it's always great talking to you, and happy to see your face again.
Proud of you, bro.
Like
Thank
we like
you
to say
so
in Arabic, California Nawarat, which is the California is a lot more brighter now, basically.
That's right, baby.
Son.
Bro, what a line.
Yes, sir. All right, Dalton Weeks, everyone. We'll post up his tags on the description below. Go ahead and follow his ass. We are the 2 a.m. podcast. Thanks again for joining us. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. We're available on all platforms, including Apple. Yes, I know. And also, check out our sponsors. They're in the description below. Use code 2 a.m. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Peace.